All right, guys, when I first saw this video that I'm about to show to you here, I almost couldn't believe it was real. It felt like it had to be AI or something, because this is just, I mean, try to imagine in your head the most comic book villain, evil billionaire you could ever think of. And that is exactly what Peter Thiel did in this interview with Ross Douthat. I think that's how you pronounce it, but I'm not 100% sure. So look at the simple ass questions. And by the way, to be clear, this guy interviewing Peter Thiel is a conservative. He's a conservative writer. And look at how Peter Thiel takes the most simple, straightforward, easy, slam dunk questions and just fumbles it hard and exposes his dark, dark view of humanity. Let's watch.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
What? First of all, what? Strike one, you're out. There's no 2 and 3. Strike one, you're out. He asked him, you would prefer the human race to endure, right? And he goes, well, I'm not so... Like, why are you hesitating? Oh my God. We live in like a dystopian sci-fi novel, and these guys are the evil villains.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
Yes?
I don't know. I would.
This is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions implicit
Should
in this.
the human race survive?
Yes.
Okay.
But I also would. I also would like us to radically solve these problems.
Right.
And
What problems? The problems of being human? Look, you're about to see here. He's got this wacky idea in his head because of his billions of dollars. It's called transhumanism, which is like, let's mix our organic bodies with machines. It's like with Elon's idea with the Neuralink. Put the Neuralink in your brain. Have artificial intelligence in your brain at all times, right? Download your consciousness into a computer so that you live forever. Like, this is the sort of stuff that we're talking about here. Making people these weird, bionic, humanoid hybrids. This is what he's focused on. He's focused on this, by the way, at the same time that millions of people don't have health insurance and health care in this country. That medical bills are the top cause of bankruptcy. That 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. That we're kicking low-income people and disabled people off their health care as we speak. Like, this is what they're focusing on. They got too much money, they got too much power, and now their dark fantasies they're trying to bring to reality.
So, it's always, I don't know, transhumanism is this, the ideal was this radical transformation where your human natural body gets transformed into an immortal body. And there's a critique of, let's say, the trans people in a sexual context, or I don't know, transvestite is someone who changes their clothes and cross-dresses. And a transsexual is someone where you change your, penis into a vagina. And we can then debate how well those surgeries work. But we want more transformation than that. The critique is not that it's weird and unnatural. It's so pathetically little. And okay, we want more than cross-dressing or changing your sex organs. We want you to be able to change your heart and change your mind and change your whole body. And then Orthodox Christianity, by the way, the critique Orthodox Christianity has of this is these things don't go far enough. Like that transhumanism is just changing your body, but you also need to transform your soul, and you need to transform your whole self. And so,
right. But the other, wait. I generally agree with what I think is your belief that religion should be a friend to science and ideas of scientific progress. I think any idea of divine providence has to encompass the fact that we have progressed and achieved and done things that would have been unimaginable to our ancestors. But it still also seems like, the promise of Christianity in the end is you get the perfected body and the perfected soul through God's grace, and the person who tries to do it on their own with a bunch of machines is likely to end up as a dystopian character.
Well, let's articulate this.
And you can have a heretical form of Christianity, that says something else.
I don't know. I think the word nature does not occur once in the Old Testament, and so if you and there is a word in which a sense in which the way I understand the Judeo-Christian inspiration is it is it is about transcending nature.
This is the guy who's creating a mass blackmail database on all Americans that Trump greenlit. Where's Alex Jones when you need him? Here's the guy who's saying, I'm going to transform humanity into some weird humanoid hybrid mix of machines and the internet and yourself, and like usher in this dystopian future. Look, it's one thing to talk about like literally just solving medical problems, right? If you have a defective organ and they could give you an organ that works, I think everybody's for that. But once you start talking about making humans no longer human, like you're getting towards this weird eugenics program where like we're going to get rid of all the undesirables. We're going to measure your IQ, and if you happen to fall under the average, sorry, we're going to have to go ahead and get rid of you. Like this is like, what the fuck are we talking about here?
Overcoming things. And, and the closest thing you can say to nature is that people are fallen, and that's the natural thing in a Christian sense, is that you're messed up. And that's true. But, there's some ways that, with God's help, you are supposed to transcend that and overcome that.
Jesus Christ. By the way, Peter Thiel always looks like he's hiding like 7 babies in his basement, doesn't he? Like, why is he always so sweaty? Why does he always look like this? By the way, I'm not done. So we got another one, another non-gotcha question that turned into a gotcha question because Peter Thiel has a gotcha answer. Here we go.
This is my very specific question for you, right? Is that you're an investor in AI. You're deeply invested in Palantir, in military technology, in technologies of surveillance, in technologies of warfare, and so on, right? And it just seems to me that when you tell me a story about the Antichrist coming to power and using the fear of technological change to sort of impose order on the world, I feel like that Antichrist would maybe be using the tools that you were building, right? Like, wouldn't the Antichrist be like, great, we're not going to have any more technological progress, but I really like what Palantir has done so far, right?
Yeah,
isn't that a concern? Wouldn't that be the irony of history would be that the man publicly worrying about the Antichrist accidentally hastens his or her arrival?
There are all these different scenarios. I obviously don't think that that's what I'm doing.
To be clear, I don't think that's what you're doing either. I'm just interested in how you get to a world willing to submit to permanent authoritarian rule.
Well, but again,
This guy, he is literally the worst public speaker I've ever seen in my life. He is this dark figure operating behind the scenes with impunity, trying to put chips in people's brains and create a mass blackmail database and make humans a weird humanoid hybrid machine mix. And then he's asked like questions like, are you the Antichrist? And he's like, well, maybe.
There are these different gradations of this we can describe, but is this so preposterous, what I've just told you, as a broad account of the stagnation that the entire world has submitted for 50 years to peace and safetyism? This is 1 Thessalonians 5:3. The slogan of the Antichrist is peace and safety, and we've submitted.
What? So now peace and safety is bad because of the Antichrist? So you want war and depravity? Like, oh my God. Oh my God, bro. I don't know how everybody doesn't see this. Guys, we can't have billionaires. We can't. The very existence of billionaires threatens democracy, threatens humanity, threatens progress, threatens basic liberal values and humanist values. Look at what he's talking about here. This guy literally bought and owns J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is a puppet creation of Peter Thiel. And here you have him laying out his ideology, and he's like, I don't know, maybe I'm the Antichrist. Sure, I'd like to create these weird humanoid, human-robot hybrids, and I'd like to download consciousness, and this goes hand in hand with Elon Musk with Neuralink. I want to put a chip in everybody's brain. Because, why wouldn't you trust Elon Musk with putting a chip in your brain? I'm sure nothing nefarious will be this is the worst idea I've ever heard in my life. People giving up their sovereignty and their freedom and their independence in order to what? Become part of a fucking humanoid billionaire semi-robot army? Hell-bent on making the country worse? By the way, he's also said very creepy things about science. He basically says we've exhausted science. Like, science is tired, science is done. And he talks glowingly about this thing called cosmism, which was this Russian idea in the Soviet Union of we need to try to resurrect the dead. that if Jesus could be resurrected from the dead, we should try to resurrect everybody from the dead. And he seems to be sort of obsessed with that idea too. Is this really the guy you want to have billions and billions of dollars and all the power in the country, when he is wildly not focused on the actual problems of like low wages and climate change and healthcare being too expensive and college being too expensive and we don't have a lot of jobs, the jobs are being outsourced? Is this the guy you want sitting up there, unable to answer whether or not he's the fucking Antichrist? I mean, it's just incredible. Billionaires are a societal failure. The fact that we have billionaires, it is a societal failure. We have tens of thousands of homeless veterans. At the same time, we have billionaires. Make that make sense. Make it make sense that the number one cause of bankruptcy in this country is medical bills. At the same time, we have billionaires. And by the way, the new tech right, it's like one scammer after another. The tech oligarch billionaires, it's like one scammer after another. From the crypto assholes to the Elon Musks and the Peter Thiels, the vampire billionaires who look like they suck the blood of babies. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Where is Alex Jones when you need him? Where is he? He's too busy riding Elon's cock and riding Trump's cock and Peter Thiel's. Remember, Alex defended Palantir when we got the word that they're creating a mass blackmail spying database on all Americans. Well, defend this one, big guy. Defend this one. And maybe he will, because maybe he's getting a couple paychecks these days from certain shady sources. But wow, the more this guy talks, the more he exposes the project, and the project is as dark can be. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.